Hi everybody, it's me, Mr. Boardman, and I am sorry that I can't be there with you today, but I made this video so that you have an idea of how to make your own clay mug or clay cup. And then I think I talked to most of you yesterday about coming up with a plan so that you can make it more unique. And so you could attach things to your mug, you could carve things into them. And I really want you to take your time with this and make it something that you feel proud of. And so I'm just gonna go over some basic techniques right now so that you have a general idea of how you can create your own mug. So first is to make sure you have all your materials at your spot. So clay, it's always good to have water, a needle tool, working on a mat so that the clay doesn't stick to the table, and then a rolling pin. And then I just have this here just to show you that it's always really important, even if it's really simple, just come up with a quick sketch about what you want your clay to look like. So just a really simple mug drawing here. And one of my favorite things is I love the ocean, and I love sailing, and I love boats. So just as a quick demonstration, I'll make like a little sailboat on the side of my mug. And so just so you have an idea of what you want it to look like. It's always helpful to draw things out. But the first step is to get yourself a piece of clay. Try and find a piece that's soft. Some of the clay is a little bit firmer, so you want to make sure that it's easy to squish in your hands. And then what you're going to do is get a rolling pin and roll it out. I actually find it's easier, and you can have more control and more force if you stand up and roll out your clay. And I'm rolling my clay out. I don't want to roll it out so it's really thin. I want it to be about as thick as a pancake. Sometimes it's helpful to use your fingernail. If you put your finger down right next to the clay should be about the same width as your fingernail. And so right now what I'm doing is rolling out what's called a slab. A slab is the clay term for like a flat pancake, clay pancake. And I'm also gonna roll out, well, actually I'll do that part after. I'll show you this first. So now you have your needle tool, and what you're gonna do is use it to slice through the clay. It's really satisfying. And right now what I'm doing is creating a rectangle. So I'm cutting off those edges. So I have this nice clay rectangle, and this is actually going to become the side of my mug. And then I find it helpful to, you can do it this way where you actually roll it into a cylinder and use your fingers to smush it together. And water's helpful here to smooth it out so you don't see any of the seams. And then, once you have this, you roll out, I can put that to the side so it's nice and safe. Roll out another pancake. This one doesn't have to be as wide, because this is gonna be the bottom of my mug. And then I can place the cylinder that I just made right on top of there, and I can carefully trace around it. It might be helpful to just draw it into the clay and then remove this. And then I can cut, kind of like you're making a cookie. So I slice that part away. Here's all my excess clay that I can just put to the side so that I have some more to work with later. And now I'm ready to attach the base to the side of my mug. And anytime you attach clay to clay, you have to use a technique called scratch and slip. And scratch and slip is basically like what it sounds like. So I know that I want to attach here to here, so I'm gonna scratch with my needle tool, scratching into the area that I want to attach. So I'm kind of just doing like crisscrosses. I'm kind of like scribbling with the tip of my needle tool. You want it to kind of look like Velcro, and then I have to do that on both sides. So if I want to attach this to this, I got to make sure both sides are scratched. I like to think about it as like eagle claws, like coming together, like ah. And if you don't have that, it'll come together like this, and then they'll slip apart. But the scratching texture lets them grab onto each other. But like I said, it's called scratch and slip. And to make your clay slippery, you just use a little bit of water. I'll show you that in 1 second. So I got this all scratched, this all scratched. I have my water right in front of me. I'm just gonna dip my finger in and put some little drops of water all along the edge there. And then I can line it up and put it on there. Now it's pretty attached right now, but I want to make sure that this is really attached. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my finger to smush even more. And sometimes it's helpful to have one part of your hand inside the cup or the mug so that it doesn't collapse. You can also stuff it with tissues, which will give it some inside support. That way it definitely won't collapse. This is also helpful for if you're planning to carve anything into your clay. We have lots of other clay tools that you can kind of explore to figure out what works best for you. And as you can see here, I'm starting to seal off this part down here. I know that I'm kind of going pretty fast, so some of these bumps, those are just the result of me kind of going really fast because I want you to be able to get started as quick as possible. Okay, now I can think about attaching a handle. And what I like to do for a handle is roll out another slab, flip it like a flapjack. I can create another rectangle, a really skinny one this time. And again, if I want to attach this to the side of my mug, I have to do scratch and slip. And if you want it to look like a really fancy handle, what I suggest doing is attaching the bottom like that, and then taking the top part and kind of curling it in. So I'm gonna scratch, 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 and then add some slip and attach. And so that kind of creates a little bit of a fancier style handle. And again, you kind of want to, even though the scratch and slip will hold it on there, you want to give it some extra support by just using your fingers or a clay tool to really attach things securely. Your hands really are the best tools for working with clay. And that is basically the first step for this project. And if I'm gonna make this into a little sailboat mug, same idea. So if I want to build my sailboat out of clay, I'll make just a really quick little simple sailboat. This will be like the vessel part of it. And then I'll make, this could be like one sail and another sail. And then thinking about where do I want it to go. Let's say I want to have like this be the water. Again, this is where it's really helpful to have the sketch in front of you so you can think about how you want it to look. And scratch, scratch, scratch. I'm not cutting through the wall of my mug. I am simply scratching into it. So you don't want to put too much pressure onto your when you're using the needle tool, otherwise it will cut through. Scratch, scratch, scratch. A little touch of water. Same thing on all the pieces of whatever you are attaching. And there's my little bottom part of the boat. Scratch, 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 slip, 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 and attach. So there, I have like this cute little sailboat mug. I can go through and add cracks to any spots that I want to fix. And then I can, the last thing is to scratch your name or your initials on the bottom of your clay. And I always like to put the year that I made it. So I'll put 2024. And then the last piece is to carefully bring it over to the area where it says finished clay goes here. And you'll notice that there's a lot of pumpkins here from my other students. Please do not touch them. They're very fragile right now, and they will break if you touch them. So I hope you have fun today, everybody, and I'm excited to see all of the work that you've been doing, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have fun, and make sure you clean up on time. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.